Guys, welcome back to the Web Monkey Show. I'm Alex as usual. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe wherever you are. In today's video, I would like to talk about some of the major changes coming with the new version of WordPress 6.0, which is scheduled to be released, I believe, on May 24th. Now, let me just say that these new changes aren't exactly groundbreaking changes. It's not like we're getting a brand new theme or a brand new theme editor or anything like that. But these changes are improvements to the theme editor, to the blocks, and to WordPress in general. So I thought I'll cover some of these changes. I should also mention that it is not 100% guaranteed that every single change I'm about to talk about in this video will make the final version, but knowing WordPress and knowing their history, there is a very good chance that all these changes I'm about to talk about will actually be available in WordPress 6.0. So what I've got in here is I've got two different websites. One has the current version 5.9.3, while the other one has the new WordPress 6.0. So the first change I want to talk about here involves the theme editor. Whenever you're trying to create templates for your single post, page templates, things like that, with 5.9.3, with the styles, you only have access to one particular variation, which is, I don't know what you might want to call this variation, but you only have this one variation where you can change the typography, the colors, and so on. But with 6.0, if you click on the styles button, right now you will see this new link here that says browse styles. You click in there and now you're going to have access to 4 new variants. You can call them the white variant, blue variant, pink variant, and then the black variant. So you can choose the blue variant as an example and then click back on the browse styles button, and then right here you can now change the typography for this particular variation. You can change the colors, the layout. You go back to browse styles, pick the black variation, and repeat the entire process. So now you have access to 4 different style variations. The only limitation so far is that you still can't add your own custom variation. Maybe that's something that they will add later, but at least for now, rather than having just one single variation to work with, you now have access to 4 different variations, so you can customize them as much as you want and apply them to different pages. The next major change involves exports. Now, with WordPress 5.9.3, whenever you're trying to export your templates, the only thing you can do basically is just to download or your templates and the template parts. That's basically all you can do when it comes to exporting with 5.9.3. However, with 6.0, you can do so much more. You can actually download your entire theme with the updated templates and styles. So basically, this is a much improved export option, because not only are you downloading the template and template parts, you're also downloading your theme as well as the styles that you have created with that theme as well. So it's a much improved export function. Still on the theme editor, we have access to some new blocks, especially when trying to create a template for the single post. You now have access to a new kind of block called the comments query loop. You will find it under theme. It is right here, comments query loop. You click in there, and what you can do here is you can actually customize the name of the person making the comment, the date, as well as the content of the comment. So you can click on comment author as an example, and then right here on the right, you can change the color of the text to, let's say, red as an example. Do the same thing for date, click on text, change that to orange, and then the actual contents of the comment, you can do the exact same thing, change the text to black, green, or whatever. You also have access to other new kinds of blocks as well. Let me quickly show you. Let's go back to browse all. Right here again on the theme, you now have access to the avatar block, where you can show the avatar of the author of the post, but then you need to connect your WordPress website to Gravatar, or the website where you can actually get avatars from. I never actually use that function, but you also have access to a very interesting new block as well, which is going to be the post author biography. It's the one right here. It's basically the last block under the theme section, and this is actually very nice, because there are many bloggers who like to add a short description of their biography at the end of each post, just to create some kind of connection between them and the person reading the post. So you now have this block available with WordPress 6.0. So now let's talk about the actual new block changes to the block editor itself. And there's a few of them. The very first one I want to talk about involves using the cover block. So right now, if you wanted to use the cover, and for some reason you wanted to use the featured image of the post as the cover, you now have access to this button right here that says use featured image. So if I click in there right now, it is going to use the featured image of this post as the cover. And so you can see right now, it's using this image because it is in fact the featured image of this post. So you now have that particular option. Not the most useful option, but I guess it's nice to have it available in case you might need it. But there is a very interesting new change to the blocks themselves. You can now lock them to prevent them from being moved around or even being deleted. Right now, if I take a look at the very first paragraph in here, I can move, right? I can move the paragraph below, and I can even decide to remove the entire paragraph if I wanted to. However, there is now this new button here that says lock. So if I click on lock right now, I have the option to either disable movement or disable the removal of that block, or I can just say lock everything so that no one, even myself, would be able to be able to move the block by mistake or even remove the block by mistake. I click on apply, and right now I can no longer move this block. The option isn't there. And if I go to the options as well, you can see the option to remove the paragraph is no longer there. So you now have that new option with WordPress 6.0 as well. The next change is a rather interesting one because it's something I never actually noticed. But the thing is, with WordPress 5.9.3, it's impossible for you to select a few sentences in one paragraph and then a few other sentences in the second paragraph. As an example, right here, if I wanted to select, let's say, the last 3 sentences in the first block of paragraph right here and the first 2 sentences in the second block, it's impossible because WordPress will automatically select all the text in both blocks. I never actually noticed this, but with WordPress 6.0, you can now actually do that. You no longer have that limitation. So I'm not entirely sure in what scenarios this would be useful, but nevertheless, it's definitely an improvement to the way how you can select text in between blocks of paragraphs. Next will now involve the columns. If you wanted to add columns right now, and you choose, let's say, 2 by 2, you now have the option to customize the borders for your columns, and you're gonna see it right here where you have the let me just click on the column button right there. Okay, so right now you have access to the border, so you can add a border for your columns. You can add the style as well. You can also change the color. You can add a border radius. With 5.9, we didn't have access to that. You see right here, when you try making changes to the columns, all you can do is just choose how many columns you want and then the padding. That's basically it, nothing more. But with 6.0, you can add border styling, make the border as wide as possible, add the style, the color, and also add border radius. So definitely a massive improvement to the column block. But we also have a major change to the group blocks as well. So let me try adding a group block right here. I'm always confused. Okay, under design, the group right here. So I can add a group. Let me just first of all go ahead and quickly add an image. Let me go to my media library. Let's choose Spanish flag. Okay, let's go back in here. Let me add another image. We're gonna go with the Brazilian flag, and that is it. Okay, now with 6.0, when you select the group, you now have the option to either transform the way they're displayed. So you can actually stack them side by side or on top of each other. So you have those options right here. So I can click on right here to align them horizontally. So now you can see we have the flags side by side, or I can have them stack up on top of one another. I can also do things like change the justification, change the orientation, and so on and so forth. So definitely, again, a massive improvement to the group blocks, the column blocks, as well as the cover blocks as well. One more change I wanted to quickly show you is you can now add shortcuts in a very, very, very unique and a very, very interesting manner. So as an example, let me just add a paragraph, right? I can type in some stuff right here. Now, if I wanted to link one of my posts or pages to this paragraph, all I would need to do is to type in the brackets, 2 of them, and automatically this window will pop up asking, okay, which link to a page or a post do you want to add in here? Obviously, it can't show you every single names of all the posts and pages that you have on your website. So right now, I'm going to add the one for a post called visiting a Buddhist temple. So I'm going to type in VIS, and now you can see automatically it has now selected visiting a Buddhist temple. I can click in there and automatically the link to my post titled visiting a Buddhist temple is now attached to the paragraph. So I've never seen this on any other page builder out there, whether it's Elementor or Divi. I might be mistaken, but I've never seen that before. So this is definitely a very interesting way of adding links via a shortcut with your Gutenberg page editor. And the final change I want to show you involves the gallery block. So the new improvement now is that you now have the ability to add spacing within the blocks in your gallery. So right now you can say I've got the gallery of 5 different flags in here. And right here, I do have the block spacing option where I can either increase the spacing between or among the images or reduce the spacing. With 5.9.3, we never had access to that particular option. So with 6.0, you are now going to be able to add as much spacing as you want within images in your gallery. Now, to round up, there's still a whole host of new changes and improvements, which because of time I cannot cover. But if you go to their page, I will have the link in the box below. WordPress 6.0 accessibility improvements. You can read about them. They're doing things like using the post title as the featured image alt text when linked to the post, so that can save you some time. And they're doing things like adding the button text labels to the site editor. And then of course they're making major improvements to bugs, errors, things like that. So you're more than welcome to go through these new changes coming with WordPress 6.0. So again, nothing major, nothing particularly massive about WordPress 6.0, but it's just a whole bunch of new improvements to the theme editor, to the blocks, and to WordPress in general. And I, for one, I'm very, very excited. Gutenberg still has some way to go before it can compete with the likes of Elementor and other more established page builders out there. But Gutenberg and WordPress are improving continuously, and I'm really, really happy about this. So do let me know which of these changes you're most excited about. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, put them down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. If you're new here, my name is Alex. I make tutorials on WordPress. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new tutorial. My name is Alex. It's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.